Hi, it's Heather Joy with Perfectly Curated Life. Thank you for joining me. Today I have a very quick and decadent and delicious dip that I'm going to share with you. It's perfect for game days like tomorrow's or any other time you're having a little get together and you need some snack food. So we're going to start with the ingredients. So we have 1 brick of cream cheese, a 1/2 cup of mayonnaise, a 1/2 cup of sour cream, and a tablespoon of Dijon mustard. Some celery and scallions chopped up very finely, 1 rib of celery, 2 scallions, 2 cloves of garlic chopped up finely, and then the zest of 1 lemon, and then also the juice of 1 lemon. We have a 1.5 cups of sharp cheddar cheese, 1 cup of Italian mixed cheese, about 3 tablespoons of bacon, a 1.5 cups of lump crab meat, and 1 cup of shrimp. And then of course we need some seasonings, and we're gonna get that from hot sauce and good old Old Bay. So the first step is to put together all of our kind of creamy ingredients. This is at room temperature to make everything nice and easy to mix together. So we have our cream cheese brick there and our mayo and sour cream. You're going to want to heat your stove, or your oven rather, to 375, and this is going to cook for about half an hour. You want to make sure that it's nice and brown on top before you take it out. And you can serve this with chips or with buttered and toasted bread rounds, just whatever you like, crackers. So I'm going to kind of mix this all together, a whisk, and having the ingredients at room temperature makes it much easier to get all of these incorporated fully. So we're going to just beat this until it's smooth, and then I'm going to add in our celery and onions. So if any gets caught, you really want to make sure that that cream cheese is as smooth as possible. So let me add this in. If you have any lemon seeds, you want to make sure that you get those out. Those are very bitter if you bite into them. You definitely don't want that mucking up the taste of your otherwise delicious dip. All right, so we have 1 little one there. Get that guy out. Okay. Now, before we move any further, I'm going to show you, we're going to go old school with the baking vessel. This is a Corningware dish, and I like this because it's nice and flat and shallow, so you have more surface area to put the cheese on and to get that nice crispy, cheesy top coating. So that lemon juice helps to thin things out a little bit, making all this a little easier to stir together. Okay, so now I'm going to add in all of my little vegetables. Do this. Just 1 second, please. Be right back. Okay, now we're going to add in some spice. So let's start with just about a tablespoon of hot sauce. I think this is Texas Pete, but you could use Frank's or whatever other kind you want. This is not super hot, but it will give a little bit of kiss of heat. And then I'm going to add in 1.5 teaspoons of Old Bay. And this has salt in it, so that you don't need to add any other salt. I'm just going to stir that in. And then I'm going to add in the bacon bits, real bacon, just chopped up, and all of the Italian mixed cheese, and then about 2/3 of the cheddar cheese. The rest I'm going to set aside for the top of the dip. Okay, so when I get that all mixed in well, and then lastly, I'm going to add in the shrimp. Now these were whole. I cut them in half and then in half again so that they could be bite-sized. I'm gonna kind of break this up a little bit so that's easier to stir. Fold those in. Not really gonna whisk that in. Okay, so all of the shrimp should be fully mixed in. Every bite should have a bit of shrimp and a bit of crab in it. And then lastly, we're going to add in our crab meat. Just fold that in. Like Moira Rose from Schitt's Creek. Fold in the cheese, David. Okay, so now that is just chock full of good, yummy ingredients. And now we're just gonna take it, put it into the Pyrex dish, and kind of flatten it out. And this is best enjoyed fresh out of the oven. So as soon as it's ready, you want to dig right in. And I'm going to just make sure that's nice and even. Okay. And then the very final step before putting it into the oven is going to be to sprinkle the remaining cheddar cheese over the top, and I'll show you in just a second what that final thing is going to look like. If you want, you can add a little bit of paprika. The paprika really helps to bring out the color of the cheese, so it won't make much difference in the way of flavor, but it will make that cheese nice and brown. Okay, so that's just about good enough. All right. I want to pop this into my 375-degree oven for 30-35 minutes. Take a look at it. You'll be able to tell when it's done, when it's nice and bubbling and brown. That's it, because the shrimp is going to cook very quickly. Everything else is pretty much already cooked. So I'll be back in just a few to show you what the final product looks like. Hey, aroma. This is what it's going to look like. Enjoy the game tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in. See you soon.